K-Bible.
Cheon Bu Kyeong.
From the start, episode 3. The Earth is a sinking Titanic. In April 1912, the Titanic, dubbed the ship that never sinks, was sailing at top speed for New York, USA, for money and fame. After ignoring warnings from safety officers and warnings of iceberg collisions from radio officers of other ships, the Titanic encountered a massive iceberg in the Atlantic Ocean and made a hasty turn, but her right bow was scraped long. As her ship's outer wall shattered and tore, a chasm opened in the 6 bulkhead walls, allowing water to rush in. The Titanic's ship architect, who was on board, had no choice but to predict that the ship would sink in about 2 hours. The passengers on the deck panicked as the situation worsened, and the ship began to tilt to one side. The ship's radio officers desperately sent out distress signals, and rescue signal rockets were continuously launched into the sky. Finally, tilted at about 45 degrees, the Titanic began to split in two as the ship's engine was lifted high into the sky. The Titanic went down with the horrific screams and cries of all 1,500 people on board. Humanity is in a perilous situation, similar to that of the Titanic, which is about to sink into the sea. Because of greed, carelessness, war, and nuclear weapons, humanity is on the verge of extinction. Every minute, 12 children die of hunger, and over 1 billion people survive on less than $1 per day. Hundreds of millions of people work hard but have nowhere to sleep, cannot send their children to school, and cannot afford medicine if they fall ill. Over 15 million people have been killed by the COVID-19, and extreme polarization has made the rich richer while pushing the poor to the brink of starvation. The economic crisis is escalating, with unending rationing lines for the unemployed, difficult lives for women affected by the COVID-19, and more than 20 million children at risk of death due to epidemics and wars. Russia, a nuclear superpower, invaded Ukraine, and when the war did not go as planned, Russia tested the Sarmat, a nuclear missile capable of destroying a country, causing widespread fear of nuclear war. Putin, the man who started the war, stunned the entire world by implying that nuclear war was imminent, and the situation is deteriorating as many countries build up their nuclear arsenals. If this war escalates into a nuclear war, which would be the Third World War, almost all countries will self-destruct. It could happen tomorrow, the next day, or a month from now. Every action of humanity demonstrates its violence and stupidity. 1%. We have a 1% chance of survival and a 99% chance of annihilation. The current situation is the same as it was prior to the flood. We have no way of resolving wars, monopolies of wealth, mankind's tormented lives, or natural disasters. Everything we do is gripped by massive greed, whether it is national hegemony, monotheistic religions, evolutionary theories, or capitalism, and we are rapidly approaching the worst-case scenario that hastens humanity's end. Georgiu, a Romanian philosopher, declared today the 25th hour of despair and death, and predicted that light would emerge from the east. The existential philosopher Martin Heidegger warned that technology separates and uproots humans from the earth, that our problems are so broad and deep that we have no way of solving them on our own, and that we will crumble in the face of God's absence. Tanha, a great scholar and Buddhist monk, predicted that in a time of great tribulation, when humanity is at a crossroads between destruction and survival, a plan to save humanity would be discovered. What is the light from the east? Where is God? And how will humanity be saved? Everything before us is shrouded in mystery.